All right, welcome back to another episode of Small Guys Podcast. Today we are reviewing the movie Heat from 1995, rated R, 2 hours and 50 minutes. A group of high-end professional thieves start to feel the heat from the that fucked me up. Andrew, your fucking
My,
Mario. Andrew's Mario thing.
my power up.
Yeah, I was like, do I just keep fucking speaking as loud as possible? All right. All right, welcome back to another episode of Small Guys Podcast. Today we are reviewing Heat, 1995, rated R, 2 hours and 50 minutes. A group of high-end professional thieves start to feel the heat from the LAPD when they unknowingly leave a clue at their latest heist. This movie has an 89% critic score, a 94% audience score. I think the only person in here, it's embarrassing to say, that has seen this is Aiden, although it's my pick. I want that on the record. I guess, Aiden, what makes you like this movie so much that you've seen it multiple times?
So I've only seen it twice. I want to put that on record. But
Lots
no,
of stuff
I
on
mean,
the
it's
record.
one of those, like, all those accounts that we follow on Instagram and stuff. I mean, I see multiple, like, scenes or clips from this movie. And then, you hear about it so much, I added to my movie list. I kept pushing it off. And then finally I was scrolling through Netflix and I saw that it was, like, on the front page. So I'm like, that works out perfectly. Took me about 3 days to rewatch it. So the first time I watched it, I watched it online, and it was good. It was long. It's a classic. I mean, coming out in '95, I think it's. So many movies are based off of it and take ideas from it. So I believe it's like one of the. It's obviously one of the original like heist movies, and I mean, you go and look back at it. I mean, we all love Dark Knight, and you can 100% watching this throughout the entire movie. You can tell that Nolan, took inspiration from this movie and based that like almost the entire movie, but that opening scene for sure of Dark Knight on this. And I mean, any heist movie that we see after that, I mean, we have.
This opened with a sex scene.
No, it didn't. Did it? Was this like scene?
Yeah,
Pretty
I'm
sure.
talking about Dark Knight's opening.
Oh,
Yeah,
this movie does.
no, but whatever.
okay.
I mean, you just see it's like I want to think of this movie as like Lord of the Rings when it comes to heist movies. I guess you could say.
Yeah.
I gotta say it off rip, dude. That first heist, I even threw it in my notes because, again, this took me like 2 nights, I think, to watch in full. But the opening heist, Josh, I'm sure you recognized it right away. It was the GTA heist. I was fucking geeking. I was like, no fucking way.
Yeah, so that's what I was gonna say, Brian. I saw a lot of GTA from this.
That's what I got the whole time. The whole time I was picking up Los Santos vibes.
Yeah, especially like even that one point where De Niro meets that one guy and has him throw the bag in the car, and fucking Val Kilmer's up there with the sniper like watching over him, and you just switch over to his view. I was like, that's
Is
GTA.
one of the
Like, you just
GTA
switched over to
heists?
Trevor.
Is it like this to the T? I feel like
Yeah,
one of them
basically,
is.
because it's a bank and they have a trash truck that runs right into the bank truck, knock it over, and then the other car comes scooting in.
Yeah.
Well, even GTA Online, that's how we would take out those to get money at the beginning for GTA Online. You had to attack those. Yeah, so that's funny you said that. I was thinking the exact same thing.
That's a good point.
I guess I
Yeah,
never realized that. And how many times have we played that original heist too?
Oh, so many times.
For real.
Yeah.
I think I've ran through the campaign on that fucking story like 7 times.
When are we getting 6, Brian?
By my calculations,
on your 40th birthday.
Yeah, we'll probably be like 30.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sounds about
No,
right.
but
And
it's
we'll have it until we're 50.
it's funny you're talking about your movie list though, Eden, because this is one where like over the years people are always like, "Hey, have you seen Heat?" And it's like really embarrassing to say no because I knew everyone who was in it. I've heard how great it is. I think it's up there with like those. It's up there with those like classics, like people mention like Goodfellas all the time, and all those movies, Departed, like all those kind of movies. And this was always mentioned in there for sure. So I really want to watch it, and it's on Netflix currently, and I figured it'd be a good time to do it. So I know Brian and Andrew watched it for the first time as well. I'm sure you guys heard about this movie a ton of times. What'd you guys think about it from like the first time watching it?
The only thing I knew about going into this movie is that this was one of the 3 movies that De Niro and Al Pacino did together. That's
Yeah.
like legit the only thing I knew. And then Val Kilmer, I was like looking at him and I was like, oh, it's fucking Batman. That's like really all I knew about the movie.
Yeah.
See, I thought this was the movie The Heat with Melissa McCarthy and
Yeah,
Sandra.
I did turn that
Yeah.
on
Oh, you're
first,
pissed off.
so I'm glad that someone said it's on Netflix.
So
I was
that's
like, what do you
actually
mean?
what I
I'm
watched.
I told
actually
Mike
did-
we were doing this movie,
This guy
and
watched the wrong movie.
he genuinely thought I was talking about that one.
I think
Mike's
I looked
not
that
the
up
brightest.
first.
That's why he's back in school. So it all makes sense.
Well, it'll be
But-
good for Mike to finally finish up the 6th grade.
Yeah.
Get that
Finally
GED.
going for that
He's the
GED,
next,
boys.
he's the next Oppenheimer. Come on.
Yeah. But no, I mean this. I mean, like you said, Josh, like with it being on like the list, like I pushed it off for so long, and I mean, you go and watch this, and you got Al Pacino and Robert De Niro going back and forth. Like, especially like I don't want to jump too far along. I don't know how we're gonna break this down, but just seeing them both on camera, like God,
Yeah.
dude, it's just so good.
It sucked though,
Yeah.
seeing like that they were on opposite sides. I was like, no.
Yeah, but they're the same person. That's the best part of this movie.
Oh,
is
God,
like
it's
you
so
just
sick.
go and they, I don't know. But we'll
Yeah,
get
so
to it.
I didn't know he was going to be a cop, because I did think going into it that they were on the same side.
Same.
So,
So
Yeah,
when I
I
first
agree
watched it, I
with
thought
you.
I thought the roles were swapped.
oh
And
really?
then,
Okay.
Like, I mean, just when you first see them,
Ooh.
because obviously it's like cops and robbers, and
Mhm.
then
Makes
Yeah.
sense.
like you would think that De Niro would play the cop just because of how like
Mm.
straight faced he is and all that.
I'm curious, who would you guys say is like your favorite character? I guess that you were kind of rooting for and everything like that. Did
Dude,
you
it was
have one in
hard.
particular?
It was really hard,
Um,
but I was really rooting
I'd probably
for
say
Al
Val
Pacino by
Kilmer's
the end of
character.
it.
Yeah. Well, no, it's crazy because like even at the end, and I won't jump all the way there, but like I'm rooting for De Niro to get away with it. But like I think Al Pacino throughout the whole movie just was my favorite character.
Yeah.
I love the conversations he would have with his wife, about him not really being alive. Like he's like the dead bodies that he's seeing every day, and that whole scene was like really good. And I think it really explains the character like really well. And like Eden said, they basically are the same character with the same motives. I think hands down the best scene in this is when they go get coffee together.
Yeah.
Mm,
What's leading
yeah.
up to that too? The fact that he pulls him over and you're like, oh shit. And I mean, I was pausing
Both have
it,
a gun.
like, yeah, I was pausing it like back and forth because I was like doing
Who's
shit when
gonna
I was
make it?
watching it. But yeah, you see the gun and it's like, wow, like no, there's still an hour and 40 minutes left. Like, what's gonna happen?
I
then
actually
you see him-
paused at that point just out of curiosity.
Yeah,
Like,
just to
right
see
there,
if
I
it
was
was
like,
like
oh,
what
shit.
could happen go on. But they do that, and then he's like, you think that they're gonna get in a shootout. You think one of them's gonna be done, but then he just invites them to go get coffee. And then that scene alone is where like each of them open up in order to obviously like relate, but then again they're still like they're not buddy because he's like I'll go right through you. Like each of them say that.
Yeah.
Like they won't
Yeah,
hesitate killing
it's
one
more
another.
of like that, I guess both maybe respecting each other's
Yeah.
craft
Yeah.
in a weird way. Like,
I think you're right.
I
They
don't know.
definitely do.
100%.
This is all I could think of when they were basically saying like, "Oh, like I won't stop, like I will kill you." Is fucking. Have you boys seen Goon? Because all I could
Yeah.
think of was Sean William Scott and the dude that played Sabretooth. Where Sabretooth, I forget the guy's name. He's fucking goated.
let's do
but
that movie.
Oh,
but
I
he
never
was
know that guy's
literally-
name either.
He's literally just like, don't think though, just because you're the new hot shot, I won't lay you the fuck out. And I was like, holy shit! I was like, I've heard
Liev
this before.
Schreiber.
That guy,
Yeah.
Liev Schreiber, great actor.
We should
Yes.
do that movie. That's a good one. I haven't seen that.
That is a good one. I love that movie. I
long
try to watch
time.
it like
But
once a year. Almost.
yeah, I mean, how cool is it though? Like seeing like I said, I think Val Kilmer is like one of my favorite characters. Obviously, not going with like the two most popular, Robert De Niro and Al Pacino, but I just like how you see him like even the scene when he's going to the chop shop, and they're in Los Angeles too. So like that's what's cool about it. Like it feels realistic. Like it's not like they're somewhere doing like this shit. And it's like it doesn't look fake. Like
No.
nothing in this is like where you're like, all right, that's cheesy. Like anything.
It
You
looks
just feel
like Los Santos. Like,
yeah,
they did a
it
good
feels
job.
natural. And then you see like his character going and picking up fucking explosives and shit, like just from the chop shop. It's like, what the fuck is going on? That's how you just know you're on track for like a good ass movie.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think too it helps with like the time period that they went for.
Yeah,
throughout the movie. But yeah, I mean, I don't want to jump around here. I do want to mention this one scene too. It's when they rob the bank and there's the huge, humongous shootout outside.
Mhm. GTA
That's
4
the one
vibes.
time. Yeah, that's the one time I paused to see how much time there was left, because it seemed like the end. There's an hour left. And it's like,
Mhm.
holy
Yeah.
fuck, how are they gonna
Yeah.
get out of this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
That's
so that's
insane.
the craziest thing is I watched some I like looked up some history on that movie and stuff, and they used like I think it was fuck. It was like 4,000 rounds each take. So they couldn't even shoot that in one take. They had to
Holy cow.
only shoot it on the weekends, and they used blanks. So it wasn't like any other movie you see
Wait, those
nowadays
weren't
like
real. There weren't real bullets.
no, but like normally,
Just fucking
so
with you.
they said that like nowadays, like any shootout scene, they'll like just shoot and like they'll fake the sound, they'll add the sound in after when they're
Like
editing.
ADR it.
Yeah, they'll ADR it, and then that's why this one, like, I remember watching it too. Like, I had it loud as shit, and it's like sometimes you hear it like super loud, and then sometimes it's like down. And I mean, you would have no idea that they're shooting blanks at each other because. Then again, I mean, we see with what's his name that shit just went down with.
Alec Baldwin.
Yeah,
He would have loved this movie with
yeah,
live
but I mean,
rounds.
imagine going for like you're doing a take like every weekend, and they're shooting 4,000 rounds, like, and one of them don't happen to be real bullets. Like, I don't know. I guess it's just
If they
It's
make a
scary as
Heat
hell.
2, he's signing up. He's
You
like,
know, I
"Okay,
actually
we
just
do
saw
8?
something on Twitter that they want to do a Heat movie, like a second one.
Huh?
Like I literally read that last night, and I was like, "This is all too connected. I hate it."
Well, did you guys know too? It's based off a true story.
Mm-hmm. So
And
I
Isn't
really
there,
seems
isn't there
really
like a book that this is based off of and shit?
Yeah, yeah, and the guy's real name is Neil, and he was a calculating criminal. It says he was ex Alcatraz inmate as well. So yeah, I didn't know that
got out
either.
with a rat.
He's not going back, baby.
No.
They put the plane on the roof and took off. Went to the pack of
A lot of
punch.
video game references here.
Fucking weasel took him out.
Yeah, that's who it is. Weasel. Fuck. Wonder if they had a golden spoon.
Tune into Small Guys Gaming to watch us do the Easter egg later tonight.
Brian's Corner,
God, I
tune in.
wish.
We're
But
coming
no,
back.
I mean, fuck. Where were we?
The Golden Spoon.
No, the
No, you're talking about the
yeah.
shooting.
No, the fake shooting. Like, I mean, just that in general is insane. And then you mentioned how it was based off a true story. I guess like the two guys, like it is like almost like obviously they dramatize a lot, but like it's pretty accurate. It's obviously like this guy's a established detective or cop or whatever, and he's going against this guy that's like a multiple offense, like obviously like just a robber, like scumbag piece of shit, and he like devoted his entire life going against this guy, and like he had multiple chances to take him down and he didn't, just like that coffee scene. And you know, they kind of like bonded and like had an appreciation for each other. But then they go and like one day he was robbing a grocery store and they were waiting for him, and he walked outside and they just gunned him down. So
Wow.
like, yeah.
Yeah, I think too. It's like you're 40 minutes in, and you're like, okay, when are we going to see them two together on screen? And I love the first scene together. I mean, they're not even really in the same room together, but when his gang is going to rob that place, or at least break into it, and De Niro just is like staring at the van they're in, and and then like Al Pacino looks like, what the fuck? Like they're just like staring at each other through the screen.
In the night
It's like-
vision,
Yeah, this is like when you know this guy's on a different level, and then he goes, well, he's like, we're out of here. And then to that other scene I really like a lot too is when they're in the I forget what it's called, but with all the crates.
He met his match and he realized it.
Oh,
Yeah.
the
Shipment yard.
The shipment
Yeah,
yard,
the
yeah, when
Shipment
he
yard
fakes them
shipment
out.
are the best scene,
Dude,
dude.
Yeah, when
Yes.
he fakes them out.
And you just
So
hear the
good.
pictures going, and it's different
Yeah.
angles, and they're snapping pictures of who the fuck's following them. And what's he say?
You
He's
see
like,
all the way
he
up
goes,
top.
he's like, you want to know what I think this is? I think we've been made, and they're just standing in the fucking middle, dude.
Yeah.
Holy shit, that was good.
Yeah, that was sick.
He
'Cause
just starts
especially
screaming.
like, yeah, he's on top of the crane, just like staring down, laying prone, fucking taking snapshots.
Yeah, but I feel like he was pretty high up. Like they could have just chased after him right there. I mean, granted, he didn't have
100%.
anything on him, so it's not like they could get him for anything. It'd be the same thing as when they left. What was the place they were trying to rob? We were just talking about it, but what was that? I forgot already.
I don't know, it looked like a factory or something.
Right, they were
Some
stealing
sort of
something
thing
out
like
there, but Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess it would have been the same situation where it's like we can pick them up right here for what, like breaking and entering. They'll be out in the street within like a month.
Yeah.
Weren't they trying to steal documents? They weren't stealing.
That was the
like,
first one. That was the
That was
first
the
one
first
they
one.
took.
documents. I don't know what the other one was.
I think
Dude,
it was
Yeah.
your birth certificate.
They're always stealing
Dude.
different stuff.
Dude, when the handoff goes south and they fuck those guys up, and then they're in the back of the restaurant with the phone call, and he's like, "I'm talking to nobody. I'm talking to a ghost because that's a fucking dead man on the other side."
Yeah.
And the other guy's like looking like, "What the fuck?"
What about the guy at the beginning when they like De Niro like pays him off or whatever, and he adds him to like the heist, and then they get the hockey mask on and they build it back up, and then they're all like, all right, like stay calm, and then he just shoots that cop point blank, and
Yep.
that's when shit just hits the fan. And like this guy's not part of like their crew too, so like what's gonna happen to him later in the movie, and then obviously,
I liked his sly getaway.
yeah.
See, but
At the beginning.
that's what got me, like, because it almost felt like Seven to an extent when he started killing all the prostitutes, and they're like, "This is a
Yeah.
serial case," and then they kind of don't say anything after that at all about it.
No, it's just
Like
it's
they
just
like bring
in the
up
wind.
this guy's a serial killer, and like that's it.
Yeah.
And that kind of pissed me off. I was like, "Are we gonna work an angle here? Like, are they gonna like give this serial killer
No.
up for their escape?" Nah.
Another character I want to mention too, because if we don't mention him at all, it'll piss me off afterwards. The Drucker character, the Allstate guy, they show him pretty early on in the movie. And they just throw him in periodically, at trying to get his life back together, ex-convict, working a shitty job, and yeah, to see where he ends up is like really sad. I don't know. And you could tell when De Niro goes and talks to him and asks him if he wants to take the job, he's just like, he hesitates a little bit. And it's like, damn. So I was
Yeah,
like,
and
I was
then
pissed when he died.
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
fucked
and it
up.
happened so quick too, I feel like.
Especially
Yeah.
because the conversation prior was him talking to his wife, and he's like, "Are you proud of me?" She's like, "I'm proud of you." And then
Yeah.
like, about how he's getting his life on track, and then De Niro shows up and fucks everything up. As soon as De Niro showed up, I was like, they gave us this background just to kill this dude. Like, I know it.
Yeah, because I'm like, what's the whole point of this character? Because he's not really interacting with any other character in the movie.
Mhm.
So I was like, where's this going? And where it ended up going it's sad. It's like a really sad story, I feel like, for his character.
He needed a driver.
I know.
But
What, they
but
get a
yeah, I
hat
mean-
block?
yeah. But
didn't work out
one of
very
the
well.
other cool scenes, like cinematography wise, would be, I mean, like you see so many shots of like the skyline and stuff, and it definitely reminds you of Miami Vice, even though they're in LA. But like even though those close like wheel shots and stuff like that of the cars, and then obviously, I mean, like I'm gonna keep bringing it up because I mean Nolan like obviously said that he took inspiration on this movie, but adding William Fichtner to the cast, obviously he's in this movie, but he's the bank manager at the beginning of Dark Knight, so like that's
Yeah.
like a nod as well. That was sick. And then also having what was I gonna say? The one scene of Val Kilmer when he goes into the penthouse, like looking over the ocean, and it's like completely dark. There's no furniture. He's just got a gun on the table. He just lays down on the floor, and I guess they took. There's like some kind of painting, I guess, where it's like identical to that shot, and it's just a dark figure, like a man looking into like the horizon, and there's just a gun on the table. So like, I don't know, it's one of those like contemporary arts like shit that they threw in the film, which is cool.
What did you guys think of like De Niro's love interest type, like romantic interest?
That shit pissed me off, dude.
Yeah.
he's
It
got,
confused me.
he's got a
No,
strict code his whole fucking life. We meet this
Yeah.
guy, and he's like a dick to this woman. And she's like, "I recognize you." He's like, "Oh, I sell metal. Like that's what I do. Now I'm in love." And then literally that's like right after he gave the whole 30-second speech, like how you can't have anything in your life that you can't leave within 30 seconds. And it's like, fuck you, dude. You just went against the whole fucking thing. Like I know where this is headed.
Well, and that's they kind of foreshadow it with when they're having coffee together, when Al Pacino mentions it, and two, and like to just go off the comparison of the characters being similar, it's like on Neil's side of it, he's like he's at dinner with his whole crew, and he's the only one without anyone next to him, and you could tell he's lonely. And then Vincent on the other end is going through his third divorce, pretty much. I think he says so.
Yeah.
And he's alone too in his own world also.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like their line of work and their personalities, they can't really have someone else or have a partner.
Brian's
in that
on
kind of
his
way.
third divorce.
Yep, caught me. It's tough out here. Bitch took the kids.
It's got nothing left.
Kids from you?
Yeah.
But I do like, I
Damn.
mean, mentioning like De Niro's love interest. I mean, like the age gap is so weird too. Like you don't expect her to be like the one that he falls for, or she falls for him. I guess you could say.
Well, it's funny too because with like the hair coloring, I was like, "What year is this fucking movie?" And it was 95. I was like, "Dude was still like 50 years old.
Yeah.
Like, it's not even
But
like
what
a young De
who was it,
Niro."
him or Al Pacino that just had a kid at like 70 something?
Both of them
or
did.
80s.
Both of them
Both
did.
Jeez,
Yeah.
horny fucks. But either way, I mean, you see that he meets that girl and like he opens up, he's more vulnerable, and then like throughout the movie, he's like trying to, he's down to just run away, like, he's down to leave it all behind, and then obviously he doesn't, and it leads to where he ends up at.
Yeah, it's where the
Clearly
dude
he
decides
was-
4 different times at the end that he's done. He's
Yeah,
leaving.
I know, it's like, God,
I was
you're
gonna
not
say,
supposed to
like,
make up
he
your fucking
clearly
mind,
had
dude.
enough fucking money to dip because he even
Yeah.
told, what's her name, that like if he fucks up again, like he'll finance her to go wherever the fuck she wants. Like he's got the money to do shit, and instead he's like, yeah, like you know what, maybe we should rob this bank. Like that, yeah, that seems like a good idea. You guys want to do it? Let's do it. Like fuck you.
Yeah. Yeah, and to bring it back to that scene with the huge shootout, I read online too, apparently, Aiden, that they didn't use like a soundstage at all.
Yeah,
So it's like
no.
they're actually out on the street.
And they had
like,
to,
faking
like I
that
said,
shit. It's crazy.
they could only do it on the weekend. So, like, imagine having to clear that area out, and it feels natural. Like, like if like there's nothing, like even their movement and stuff like that. Like I saw videos of them like training, like doing like that John Wick shit out in the
Yeah.
desert. Like that's awesome. And like each of them knew how to obviously like handle a gun, and it just feels natural.
Yeah,
So,
like
like,
Val
Go on.
Kilmer's character when he's like reloading the mag really quick.
Yeah,
he's,
yeah,
on
no,
the
that's
street,
sick.
That looked like a
And
straight
then
up Marine.
Yeah, and then I guess they said that like in Britain they were showing like videos of this movie, like that clip of him reloading and like just their movement going car to car, like for like training purposes. Like, God, you can't just take a video of your own fucking men doing that.
They don't got guns.
No,
over
but I
there,
mean, like
dude.
the way they're moving,
Like
Yeah.
swords, fuck.
dude. And when Val Kilmer's character got shot, I thought it was like a headshot and he was dead at
Yeah,
first.
it happened so
For a
fast.
quick second, yeah. And I'm happy his character ended up living, but yeah, dude, I thought he was gonna get killed for sure. I don't know. I didn't think he'd make it through the movie. So because he
Were
was one of the
they-
characters I liked a lot.
Were they brothers? They were brothers, right? Or no? Were they just like lifelong friends?
No, I think they were just lifelong friends. I mean,
Yeah, they're lifelong friends.
And then he was like obviously like one of the OGs and like his crew, just like that guy that was at the restaurant, doing all that. So I mean, I guess we don't really see any like background on them in
Yeah.
such a long movie too. They kind of just pop up, and they fill in, and then.
And he's
one
like
of
a
them gets
silent
killed.
partner, really. He doesn't talk too much, I feel like.
No, and that's why. But he's the most badass one. Like he's obviously doing the drilling. He knows all the explosives. He knows like he's climbing. Or was it him that climbed up on the power line when they cut the power
No,
to
he
the
was doing the
warehouse?
door.
Yeah,
Who's doing the doors?
and the other guy. I don't know that guy's name, but he's in so many movies too.
Yeah, and even their conversation before that last job, it was like, hey, like you have enough money to walk away. You have
Yeah.
kids and a family to go home to and stuff like that. And he's like, and that was another scene I really liked a lot too, because he's like, no, I do it for the thrills. Like, yeah, that's what you all are doing. You know what I mean?
Michael
None of you
Just
really
think
need the money.
of
Yeah.
Danny Trejo's character. And his
Oh,
name
yeah,
is
I did not
know he
Trejo.
was in here.
Yeah, Trejo. I know he popped up and I was like, oh, is this like I don't know, it just felt cheesy. I guess that's the only part that feels cheesy to me.
Yeah, because they're using him to lure the cops away, right?
Yeah.
That's the whole purpose of his character.
But
yeah,
he just pops up
I
and
was
his name's
shocked.
Trejo.
Yeah, Trejo.
What do you
Got
guys
it.
think is his most iconic role that you remember?
Spy Kids.
Apocalypse Now.
Growing
Me
up,
too.
growing up with Spy Kids.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Grandpa
from
that's,
Spy
Kids.
it was for me too. That's why I was just curious.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that was sick. But I would obviously say Machete too. So,
Yeah.
dude, he's in so many fucking movies, and that's why I feel like he's so like
Stay
such a
tuned.
good actor. I guess like just such a known actor that they just throw him in random shit. I feel like this is like something that they just threw him in. And it's like, all right, it works.
He's in Call of the Dead also.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
I
was.
need to
Just keep bringing up zombies.
Goon,
gotta miss
Spy,
zombies.
Spy Kids Rewind. It's coming.
Keep adding it to the list.
Yeah, list is
Yeah,
dropping.
I guess we could talk about more of the ending. I guess for each character, we could do Val Kilmer's character first. Haircut looked good first, for starters. I like the thing with his wife, kind of like giving him the hand signal, like not to come in. I thought that was like, it was like sad, but it was, I don't know.
She's a dog for that.
She is,
Yeah,
yeah.
because you think that she's gonna, obviously
yeah.
like rat him out and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You don't think she thinks she's gonna sting him? And
Dude,
shit.
when the cops stopped him, I was like, oh fuck, like there's about to be a
Oh, yeah.
shootout.
Ah, this bitch.
Yeah, because this
And even
dude's
when
like,
he's, like,
this
running
dude's a
through the
hammer. Like
neighborhood
he'll
and
just
shit.
he'll like blunt through things. Like he'll shoot up things. He does
Yeah.
not give a fuck. So I thought for sure there's gonna be some kind of shooting or something, but he played it smart, and I don't know.
Yeah, he wanted to live.
Rare.
It is rare. So I didn't think he would live. I really thought they'd kill him right there at the end. And then two, Al Pacino kind of gives up. His character gives up. He thinks De Niro's gone. He goes up to his hotel room, and then he finds like the worst thing I think you could possibly see. His daughter in the bathtub, like bleeding out. Yeah, and it was hard to watch, and like, I don't know. I think the way he played that scene was like, I don't know. I don't know how an actor goes there. I feel like that's really hard to do. But yeah, he just starts breaking down. He goes, shit, like, because what do you do in that situation? I mean, and luckily he's, a professional, the character, but it's like, I don't know, I'd freak out. Yeah, it's like hard. And when he walked in, I remember when he walked in the room, and you see the puddle coming out of the bathroom, and he walks right over it, and I'm thinking, oh, did he just flood it earlier in the day? Like, I didn't even think that someone was in there and did that, and I guess neither did he. So
Yeah, no,
she ends
that's
up
crazy.
living.
But even I know, but what was it before when she's on the side of the road and they just whip a Yui and pull up, and they like pick her up and then take her over to wherever take her back home, I guess. And like I don't know, just that scene was funny to me because they literally just fucking peel out after they put her in the back of the car.
Yeah.
But no, I mean it's good, and like seeing Natalie Portman young like that, it just reminds me of
Star Wars?
Leon the Professional.
Oh.
No, because I think Leon the Professional was like her first role ever. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that, but that's a great movie.
Well, yeah, I'm sure at
Did
the
a good
time
job.
too. This was easily her biggest movie before landing Star Wars. So, but yeah, no, that was hard to watch, and I don't know. I guess for the De Niro character, we mentioned it earlier. The guy just couldn't give up on certain things. He went back and killed that guy that he told earlier on in the movie that he was going to kill him. And I like how they kept showing him throughout the movie randomly, and he was just like literally living in his office. He couldn't leave.
Yeah.
And then they hire Wango, right? Wangro, is that the guy's name? Who used to be in their crew, and is now, I guess, has a vendetta after them, and is trying to fuck them over. I don't know. I don't know how you felt about that character, but it was interesting, to say the least. Especially that first scene they introduce him.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, no, I mean, then I guess we can go in order kind of now, but I feel like we already jumped around. We already talked about the scene where are we at the runway yet?
yeah, I was about to talk about that.
Gotcha. Yeah, then go ahead.
Yeah, so when they got to the runway together, I mean, you know it from the coffee shop scene that one of them's gonna die, right? One of them has to die. You don't know who it's gonna be.
Yeah.
To this point in the movie, I'm like, Al Pacino's been through the ringer. His wife has cheated on him. His daughter almost died. He looks like he's not sleeping. He's just going through it pretty rough, and it seems like De Niro at this point is getting everything he wants. He's cutting all these loose ends. He does leave his girl behind, so Brian, he did end up doing it. In that 30 seconds, technically.
I wonder if you're talking about if that's 30 seconds of slow mo where he's sitting there looking at her and then turns around and just takes off running like he's fucking Batman at the end of the
He definitely could have gotten in the car, and they definitely could have drove away.
Yes. I was
Yes,
thinking the
I was
same
thinking
goddamn thing.
Yeah, but dude, when they meet on the runway, it was super intense, especially when the planes would come in and the whole like area they're in would light up from the lights. It was intense because you didn't know who saw who, you didn't know where either one of them were because it kept flipping back and forth. I felt like it was super intense.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Well, especially that motherfucker, Al Pacino was booking it with that shotgun, dude. He had
Yeah,
that
he
shotgun
was
in hand. He was taking
Running
off.
fast as hell.
Yeah, and it's like I want De Niro to get away, but I also like Pacino's character probably the most. So it's like I don't know. I didn't want either of them to die. Like, can they just be friends and?
I just
walk off
wanted
together?
I wanted fucking De Niro to make it out and like leave him like a calling card like a month later or something.
Yeah.
Something like sorry to hear about your stepdaughter. Like fuck.
Yeah.
Hope things are okay now.
See, I thought it was gonna be like what the fuck was that movie with Paul Walker, the Taken, like where everyone just fucking like spoiler alert dies at the end and fucking only a couple of them make it out. And I thought that would happen to De Niro, like his whole crew would get wiped and he'd be like the last one running away into the night. Because again, that kind of would have been cool because it's like he actually stayed true to his 30-second plan and he got the fuck out and he did the damn thing and he was ready to go.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I wasn't too much of a fan of the the little chase they had around that little shack in the middle of the runway. But I did think that they were both gonna die. I thought that they were each gonna shoot each other, kind of bleed out, and realize like, all right, was this worth it? Like, no, like, why'd you do this? But then obviously, like, I like those shots too, where we just saw it in John Wick 4. When they shoot, and I mean, you have no idea what happened, and the camera cuts, and then you see that De Niro is the one laying down, like on the ground, and you're wondering if you're looking over him, and then you just rethink of that coffee shop scene, and he's like, "I won't hesitate to kill you." So like, that he did, and De Niro's character is looking at Al Pacino like. He's really the only one that they connected with. Like each of them, like he was like, wow, like like he understood what was going on, and yeah, I mean, I don't know, I don't really
What'd
know
you think of, like,
how to describe the rest after that.
What'd you think of them like holding hands at the end?
Yeah, well, that's why it was because of that coffee shop. Like even though they became friends realistically, like not straight enemies, but he still had to do what he had to do.
Yeah.
That's like a respect handshake right there.
Yeah, that was take that fucker out.
I was
Let's see
hoping
what he
De
did.
Niro would like plant
Hidden
one on
blade
that
to him.
motherfucker.
He gonna give him the hidden blade. He's like, and then just
Come closer, and he just fucking pops the blade.
yeah, bottom of the neck. It's like, gotcha, bitch.
Andrew, what did you think of the ending? Did you like it? Were you a fan of the way it ended or no?
Yeah, because it was a good resolution. You got to see that relationship that they had, building up throughout the whole movie, kind of finally get a proper like culmination and resolution that made sense, and it didn't feel like a happily ever after, but it felt good.
Oh yeah.
I liked the ending. My critique on this movie for me is it was too long. In my opinion,
long ass movie.
I would have cut out like, I don't know, probably 35 minutes out of this movie. Like, I would have just cleaned things up. I mean, does it still work with as long as it does? It is, yeah, but I don't know. It's just long for me. Maybe I wasn't in the mood.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing with like it being long, because I mean, obviously it is long as shit, but I feel like it's original. And even watching it for the first time, I mean, with it being like a so-called classic and all that, like you appreciate it. It'd definitely be hard to rewatch it, and that's why like when I rewatched it, it took me 3 whole days. But I mean, it's still like I'm sure you guys are glad you watched it.
Yeah, it's worth a one-time viewing for sure, without a doubt.
Yeah. But yeah, let's get into the trivia really quick. In an interview with Al Pacino on the DVD special edition, Pacino revealed that for the scene in the restaurant between him and De Niro, they felt that the scene should not be rehearsed, so that the unfamiliarity between the two characters would seem genuine. Michael Mann agreed, and they shot the scene with no practice rehearsals at all. So, and that's one of our favorite scenes from the movie. So I think the way they went about that worked really well. This one's funny. The current residents of the apartment where Danny Trejo's death scene was filmed got curious after seeing the film, and they pulled up the carpet in the room Trejo was shot in. To their surprise, they saw the theatrical blood still remain there. Can you imagine that?
No, that was real blood.
Can you imagine watching that movie, going home, being like, "Wait, this is
familiar."
Did he die in like an apartment?
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you watch it, he's on like whatever floor that is. Like, how do you know that your room, unless like they told you when you bought it? You know,
Maybe. Yeah. Well, maybe, I don't think the movie was out yet. Probably. I don't know.
Yeah. But yeah, they just fucking.
Do you have to,
just a puddle of fake blood.
Do you have to disclose that Danny Trejo fake died in your apartment, like the way that you would a real murder?
There's probably still blood there.
It's like, what the fuck happened there? You ever seen Heat?
The ghost of fucking Danny Trejo.
Yeah. You're haunted by Danny Trejo in an apartment and he's still alive.
Still wanders the halls.
Yeah. And they think that he's dead, but it's actually Danny Trejo himself just fucking with him.
It's him in the fucking bed sheet with the eyes cut out. And, whoa!
Like, oh, what's up, Danny? Danny, is that you again?
That's just Danny, but it's like the fucking Nosferatu. Just Danny Trejo.
That's hilarious.
When Kevin Gage was imprisoned for 2 years in 2003, he was universally addressed by his fellow inmates and prison guards as Rango, since that's his character in the movie. So, I don't know. That'd be pretty funny to just look over and see that guy in prison, because his character was such an asshole in this movie as well.
Like, that makes sense.
In the director's commentary, Michael Mann noted that Al Pacino improvised the line, "Because she's got a great ass."
Oh, I meant to bring that up.
Yeah.
I listen to every week the fucking Workaholics Boys have a podcast, and they have like a soundboard of just random shit. And the second I heard "great ass," because that's a button they hit all the time, I was like, "Holy shit!" Like, I had no clue this is where it came from. I totally thought that was like Jim Carrey yelling that or something.
You cut out when you were talking about that, Josh. But did you mention that it was improvised?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. That shit's hilarious.
Because like what Brian said, I swear I've heard that before, and I thought it was probably someone else too. In an early draft of the script, Vincent Hanna had a cocaine habit. Who plays that's Al Pacino's character, which according to Al Pacino explains his bombastic outbursts. So, and then this is my last one. We mentioned it earlier. This was filmed without a single soundstage. So
impressive.
Again,
That's
very
a flex, dude. Nolan could never.
It's impressive. No, a movie nowadays wouldn't even attempt to do that. So
people are scared of taking risks.
You're scared to take risks nowadays.
I don't think we mentioned the one scene when his wife's or ex-wife's like boyfriend or whatever is in there watching TV.
Oh my
god! Goes
God!
and just has that fucking rampage and just breaks the TV and starts going nuts.
Because what she says like, "You can't watch my TV," and he fucking takes it with him and then kicks it out at the fucking corner. Everyone sat there like, "What the fuck was that?"
Yeah, because he's like, "I'm alright with you fucking my wife. I'm alright with you sitting on her nice couch, but you're not gonna watch my fucking TV."
Just look at my nice modern home.
Yeah,
like all that shit. So. I just want to mention that. That was great. But, you guys down to get some scores?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
I can start off. Like I said, I've only seen this twice. I highly recommend watching it for the first time. It's an excellent movie. I mean, and like I said, it reminds me of how, Lord of the Rings set up for these like big battles that we see on screen from like all these movies that are coming out and that have come out. This one is like the OG heist movie to me. I mean, I'm sure there's a heist movie that's before it, but I think this is like one of those ones that, sets the bar. And absolutely love, like, I watched Dark Knight obviously before watching this, and I mean, it's like, they're parallel to each other. And I don't know, I mean, I love this cast. I love seeing Robert De Niro and Al Pacino on screen at the same time. I love, the connection that they had that we mentioned earlier. Knowing that, obviously they're playing cops and robbers, but they're, so identical in a ways to where he feels bad when he shoots him point blank. So Love the aspect of the movie. I love the like subplots that were going on as well. The serial killer, the fucking, all the little stuff, and I don't know. I enjoyed it, but I feel confident giving this OG heist movie. I think 91. 91's solid for me.
Nice.
Okay.
I'm gonna sit on that.
I'll go after that because I gave my score before we even did the review. A little bit different. I was protesting. I said I wasn't going to be on this one.
And here you are.
Josh convinced me. And the reason that I didn't want to be on the review was because, and I told these guys, is because I watched this and I walked out of it and I wasn't blown away and mind blown. And I also didn't think it was bad. It was one of those movies that I was like, oh, I'm glad I watched that. And I walked away and, I was like, man, that was a long one. But I guess I didn't walk out of this with like anything. And not every movie needs to be life-changing or one that, you got to throw on your must-watch list. Do I think that this is one that you should see once? Yeah, I stand by that still. But with that said, I'm going to give it an 85 out of 100. Originally, I said 84. I'm bumping it up 1 point.
There you go.
So I feel good about it, 85 out of 100. And my knock towards it is just because it's long. And like I said, maybe I just wasn't in the mood this time. And that could be why, Aiden was saying that the time that it is, it feels good. The 3 hours that it is almost, he was saying that, it feels warranted. I disagree. But yeah, no, feel good with that. Feel good with an 85. Not bad, not great.
I'm around the same range, so I'll go next.
Wait, do you think that we could reduce the runtime of this movie if Robert De Niro didn't say that he was going to run away 4 different times?
Yep.
Yeah,
that would definitely help.
Probably cut it down a little bit with that.
Like one big one. I'm out of the game, and then you son of a bitch, I'm in.
Fuck. He's like, can't do it.
Yeah, felt a little repetitive.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Andrew said it best. This isn't like a life-changing movie, nor do you need that every time you watch a movie, but this is a good one. I'd recommend watching it at least once, especially with it being on Netflix right now. I know that's like the majority, like households have Netflix. You probably have Netflix. Go and watch it if you have time to kill. Or do what me and Aiden did. Take 2 nights to fucking watch it, 3 nights, whatever you need.
Yeah.
But it is a good one. I don't. At certain points, it just felt like it was all over the place all at once. Like there was too much going on, like all those subplots. And again, like I'm into the serial killing shit. I thought that was going to play a bigger role. Instead, they were like they showed this horrified mother, and then that was like it. And they were like, all right, well, there's a serial killer on the loose. About ended that, and that was the end of discussion. But I will say, I think the only reason this wouldn't be higher for the score I'm about to give it is because we have seen now great heist movies after this. Like, I was thinking of the Ocean's movies the whole fucking time I was watching this. Or even, like,
that's a
Tower
good point,
Heist. I know Josh was thinking of that movie the whole time. He's like, where's the Christmas, or where's the Thanksgiving parade? Like, where's it at? I know it's
Compared
coming.
to every movie I watch.
Yeah, no, I get that. But, yeah, it was definitely, it was a good watch. I see why people talk so highly about it. I don't know if it's, like, the ratings that were given at the beginning high, but I'd be comfortable giving this an 82.
Right.
Nice.
Yeah, no,
Solid.
I think I enjoyed this as much as Aiden. I do see the hype for sure. I'll agree with you guys. I do think the beginning is kind of slow. I don't know if I'd cut it completely, but I think once they interact in the first scene together, where they're, like I mentioned earlier, where De Niro's staring at the camera, I think from that point on I was really hooked, and I could not keep my eyes off the screen. Leading up all the way to the end, I was at the edge of my seat. Like, I was pissed off that De Niro kept going off on these side things, trying to cut loose ends. Like, just run away, go. Like, you're getting the opportunity. It was to the point where Al Pacino's character literally quit and gave up and said, all right, he's probably gone at this point. So it's like, I don't know. So it's things like that, but I think it made sense for the character, so it didn't surprise me at all. And you knew how it was going to probably end up ending, and that's how it ended. Definitely a classic movie. I probably will watch it again. I really did enjoy it a lot.
You're a fan of heist movies in general, though.
I do love criminal cop
How many
shit,
times
like,
have you seen Tower Heist?
How many Thanksgivings has there been?
How old is he?
That's like 13.
It's only been like
100.
Well, since it's been out. But yeah, I'm gonna go with the 92. I really enjoyed it a lot. It's one of those movies where like I've been embarrassed that I never watched it, and now I'm like pissed off at myself that I didn't watch it sooner. So, yeah, I don't know. I kind of almost want to go back to The Irishman now, just to see those two interact. I mean, I've seen it before, but like, and
I think that's longer
that
than
movie's
this,
like,
isn't it?
it's like 3 hours and 20 minutes. And that's too long.
It's
But
insane.
just to see them interact together would be special. And I know why so many people were hyped for it when it originally came out. I mean, obviously they're two legends. So yeah. But that was our review for Heat, 1995. We will be back with Equalizer 3 on Friday.
Listen to our World War Z episode, and if you're hearing this, we apologize for the first 20 minutes of that. Mike was using string and tin can, and then we finally upgraded
chunky.
upgraded him to a microphone, but that's a good one. I would tune into. We just also did Kick-Ass recently. Don't
Actress
listen
draft.
to that one.
I think I had the best draft. Actress.
You think you had the best draft? We didn't even fucking do it yet.
Yeah, we didn't do actress.
Whoa.
What are you talking about?
Don't
We already
ruin the
did it,
magic
guys.
behind this.
Hey, no, because I just know that you had a shitty actress draft.
No.
Sorry, listeners.
Don't ruin the magic.
The magic is
chronology
fucking
is
gone.
thrown
Hey
off.
guys, glad I could bring another one home for the boys. I think it's 2 in a row. I've gotten 2
For the
dubs now,
girls.
so
For the girls,
for the
yeah.
girls. This one's for the ladies. So
Now it's number 1 for the ladies. Can we bring back the Valentine's fucking Small Guys logo for this one?
For this episode?
Uh,
No,
Or
no,
actors
draft. Actors draft. Sorry, actors
I'm
draft.
gonna
Can
put
we
2
use it for
stickers
Barbie?
on the faces of our logo
Yeah.
and put 2 different people every time.
Yeah.
But no,
All right.
I mean,
All right.
take a listen to our older episodes, and we got some new ones coming
check
out.
us out on.
Go back and
also-
run up, Gone Baby Gone. I don't know what it is about that episode. That episode had the juice. Go ahead and give it a listen.
Great
That's
It
true.
doesn't make any sense because the YouTube numbers for that don't match the Spotify and Apple. So I think there's a song that must be called like "Gone Baby Gone," and people just click on our
And they're
episode.
downloading it?
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't figure that one out. That one's beyond
this is
me.
an hour-long
and a half long song.
Yeah.
That one's beyond me because if people really loved it, it should blow up on YouTube too. I don't understand how it's only blowing
Do
up
we
in
even
one
have a
area.
YouTube at that point?
Just a bunch of misclicks. It's like fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it is on YouTube.
We
That was
posted
one of the early.
I think we posted it after the fact. I'm
might
sorry,
have.
we're
True.
rambling now. Thanks
Yeah.
for tuning
Yeah.
in, guys. We love you.
But
Yeah.
so
no,
much. Thanks
hey,
for
in honor of Heat, go watch this movie. It's on Netflix at the moment. Go commit a crime.
Oh wow.
Let us know
we
how it
don't
goes.
do whatever
we
you
don't.
want.
Small Guys does not condone committing crime.
And if you get
Aiden
caught,
Bender
hit
specifically
I
does.
said go commit a crime, not you go commit
Hit
a
up
crime.
Josh on
Sorry.
Twitter. Let us
Rephrase
know what
that.
you think. Josh,
Yeah, we'll
what's your
post
at?
bail.
Yeah.
What's
Let
your
us
Josh
know what
Bail
crimes
too?
you're committing.
And
Yeah,
Josh,
yeah,
at
yeah,
Josh
right.
post bail.
Yep, he'll get you out of there.
All right,
right.
boys.
Thanks,
We'll see you
guys.
guys next time.
Non-violent
Good night,
crime, by the
boys.
way.
Not a violent crime. We don't.